not only action, but a knockout in his fights. Hasn't been the case in his last 2 fights. Let's see if he can get healthy here against Martirosyan. He generally, Triple G, provides indelible moments in his fights, whether it's Curtis Stevens exclaiming like he couldn't believe the power on the ground from a left hook, or Matthew Macklin writhing on the canvas from a body shot. See if he has one of those moments in him tonight.
And Max, you mentioned that this feels like a throwback to an old-time HBO fight. For you, here's one more reason we haven't even mentioned so far. Vanes Martirosyan is promoted by Don King. It's hard to find that in the sport yet, or still at this hour. But here it is, a Don King promoted fighter in against Gennady Golovkin.
Martirosyan flashing a nice jab.
Throwing some good combinations already.
Martirosyan sticking the jab in Golovkin's mouth. Golovkin lands a left hook.
Oh, Martirosyan's hurting.
Golovkin known for his scary power in both hands, and would like to remind fans of that after his last couple fights. That's what happens again when you fight top fighters like Daniel Jacobs and Canelo Alvarez. Martirosyan considered a level below that.
Yeah, he thrown a good jab already here though, Max. Popping Gennady's head back a couple times. Gennady landed a good hook on him, popping his head back one time. So we're getting some good exchanges in early. The bad thing for Vanes is that 24-month layoff is going to tear early. Later in the fight, he'll get back comfortable and get in position.
Well, Martirosyan has been in the gym, Roy, and he says he's been in the gym for the last 17 months fairly continuously. But when you have not been in a real fight for a long time, almost 2 years in his instance, are you more susceptible to power shots?
Much more susceptible because you're not used to that movement and having that crowd there. The crowd drains so much energy from a fighter, as most real fighters know. Secondly, when you haven't been in there, the little things, the timing, the making a guy miss by a hairline, I mean, it's very difficult to do because you don't know that feeling until you get out there and have it again.
They say the last thing to leave a fighter is his punch. But we've also seen fighters age and lose that knockout snap. Roy, you think Triple G still has that vaunted power?
Well, Triple G does, and Max, I meant to tell you a little earlier too, we always talk about Triple G being 36 years old, but Triple G is an elite fighter. An elite fighter at 36 is not a bad fighter still. Floyd Mayweather was still dominating people at 36 years old.
It's changed over the last decade or so.
Of course it has. So 36 is not an old fighter, especially when you haven't taken a lot of punishment.
And for those who haven't seen him before, we talk about Triple G's power. Max has made the point that you expect to see knockout power from Triple G, but CompuBox counts him as the most prolific jabber in boxing. He lands more than 10 jabs per round. Nobody else in boxing has done that. And he's landed 14 this round. A hard right hand by Martirosyan knocks Golovkin back.
I think Vanes just hurt Golovkin a little bit.
I agree, and he hit him with a good right hand counter before he landed the left.
Followed by a good jab, yes.
Golovkin landed 15 jabs on the round, but only one hard power shot. Martirosyan hit him in the mouth with a right hand. That might have been the best punch of the round.
Stop looking for one. Let's get into a groove going, okay? Little jab, little feint. You're not feinting it now. You're a little tight. Yeah, you're a little tight. Loosen up. Just relax. Huh? Where's the grease?
You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna start moving with that head, being more comfortable, being smart, so tight on your defense, okay, D? Everything's working. Do what you're doing. You're doing everything good, but he's gonna start jabbing more because he's missing his right hand. You're being smart. Very good. Move a little bit.
You see Vanes come in with a jab, a right hand, and Triple G thought it was over. Then all of a sudden, bing, there goes another jab, and that's what knocked him off balance because it's the punches that you're not ready for. Look at Triple G's eyes. He said, oh, snap, this guy can punch.
Yeah, I thought it was the right hand that had stunned him a little bit, but actually it was the follow-up left.
Vanes Martirosyan came up in boxing in Southern California. A lot of Mexican fighters, a lot of gym wars. And he thinks he's uniquely prepared for Golovkin's Mexican style, but those are some monster
uppercut by Golovkin, and Martirosyan grabs and holds on.
That hurt him really bad though, Jim. That uppercut hurt really bad. That was a good shot.
He held on to Golovkin long enough to avoid being called for a knockdown, even though his knee hit the canvas. That grease ruled it a throw by Golovkin.
And Jim, he's kind of too slow right now to get out of the way of Triple G's big punches. So if Triple G turns it up right now, he can get him out before Varnish gets ready. And he better do that because Varnish is throwing some really big shots, but the ring rust is still really affecting him right now.
Varnish is not reacting like a scared fighter. He's reacting like a fighter who's seen this all before.
And that's not good, though, man.
Well, because Triple G still has that concussive power.
That's what I'm saying. That's not good because you need to be a fighter that acts like you don't want no part of this in the early rounds while he's powerful until you get used to seeing the timing of his punches. Then you can act like it doesn't really matter. Right now, it does matter because if he catches you crisp, it's going to be a problem.
You heard Abel Sanchez telling Golovkin between rounds, you're a little tight, and it does look that way. As though Golovkin's got a lot of weight on his shoulders, a lot of pressure to deal with, a lot of outside the ring stuff. And he gets hit with a right hand again by Martirosyan. Oh, hard left hook by Golovkin. Right hand by Golovkin. Another left, hard left hook. Down goes Martirosyan. And he collapses onto his face as Reese picks up the count.
7, 8, 9, 10.
We're done. Second round knockout for Golovkin.
And I would have got disqualified for that.
Roy is not wrong about that.
I would have got disqualified.
I don't think Triple G should be disqualified for that, but that was exactly like the punch that you got disqualified for. Triple G, in his desire to score the knockout, was, if anything, overzealous with a fighter on his knees in front of him and landed a shot when Martirosyan was technically already down. And that may have been the finishing shot.
Pretty close. I'll have to look at the replay to see whether Martirosyan actually was on the canvas or was in the process of going down.
I wouldn't DQ a fighter for that, nor should you have been DQ'd.
I agree.
But technically, I believe he hit him when he was down.
We'll see. Either way, he's got a new knockout streak. 1. Here's another look.
Once again, the uppercut that caused the problems early, hit him right on the chin with a beautiful uppercut. Doesn't get any better than that, Jim. Now you see him coming in for the attack. Overhand right over the top, which Varnish had got caught with several times before. He comes back with a jab, another jab, a good jab to set up the right hand again. Another great shot, followed by tap right hand, a big left hook, and that pretty much finished Varnish right there. Followed by right hand, but Varnish was out at that point. Another hook, boom, and now Varnish is done. And there's a right hand, he's down right there on the ropes, and here's a, well, he was going down, so it wasn't that bad.
I don't think his knee had reached the canvas, but the glove may have. Technically, he's down the moment that the glove touches the canvas.
Yeah, let's look at it again.
Having watched that, if the ropes are holding you up, you're down.
That's right.
And I think the ropes are holding him up. But guys, that was a clean knockout, even if it was a little messy at the end. That would never, I think, rise to the level of DQ if it's called properly.
I totally agree, and you've got an excellent referee in there to make the call. Jack Reese is one of the very best. Now here's Reese as the count reaches 9, 10, and he waves it off. And Golovkin seems to let out a little air, relaxing finally after all the turmoil and the tension and the decision-making he's had to go through in these last few months. And now let's go to ring announcer Joe Martinez with the particulars on the KO.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes of the world Triple G, Gennady Golovkin.
First round wasn't his best. Second round was a wipeout. Ultimately, the result is what most ringside observers expected. An early to middle rounds knockout for Golovkin. Final why he's so popular. Roy Jones, let's take another look at the knockout sequence. This is a traditional angle replay. Then we're going to take a look at another one. But once again, run us through what happened here.
Well, he was going at him. He had him hurt. He knew he had him hurt. He went a big left hook right there. That took the fight out of him. That's another right hand. That left hook definitely took the fight out of him. He looked like he was down, and then he threw a shot. Now, we couldn't tell that the knee was down or not. But in this new angle that we've never seen on camera before, this is going to tell us something different. There's a right hand. Another tap followed by the big left hook, boom, which ended the fight pretty much. A straight right hand, another hook right there, and down goes the knee, and down the knee, and here comes the right hand. Roy Jones Jr. would have been brutally disqualified if that was Roy Jones Jr. in his prime. I don't care what nobody tell me. If he was in the state of New Jersey